Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm MJ Clark. This is the Re-Viewpoint. Today we are going to be talking about Loki Episode 5, Journey into Mystery. Now, this is the 5th episode in this first season. Hopefully there are more than just this one season. Now, if it is only a single season, then it's an amazing one-off as a miniseries. So far, Loki has not disappointed. It's been incredible. We've had amazing character development, incredible writing, truly heartfelt moments, and this attachment to Loki that we didn't really have before. We used to like him because he was cool. Now we love him because he's more. This episode starts off where the cliffhanger ended us last week in episode 4. That was essentially in an end-credit sequence where Loki wakes up and he is surrounded by Kid Loki, Boastful Loki, and Classic Loki, and Alligator Loki, funnily and adorably enough. So it starts off with us getting this amazing overarching shot taking us through what is known as the Void. This void, essentially, as explained to us when Renslayer speaks to Sylvie about it, is where I guess everything they prune and everything that they essentially erase with those time bomb things that seem to do resets, they don't erase the place or erase the person. They transport them here to this place at the very end of time still being written, where essentially everything they've ever pruned and everything that's ever been taken out of time is all in existence, smashing into each other at once. So you've got all these different pieces throughout time, all these places just seemingly crashing into each other to make up this place. And of course, it's all guarded by, I think his name was Eliath, this ginormous monster that destroys and eats everything in its path because it's essentially just guarding this giant way out into the secret of where I guess the timekeepers themselves actually might be, or whomever created the TVA actually might be. And we've got Loki being taken and saved and rescued by these other Lokis, where we get some humorous banter and some interesting insights on why these Lokis are somewhat the same but very much different. Kid Loki, he killed Thor, and that's what his branching timeline was. That was his next event. He killed Thor in his timeline. Then you have Alligator Loki, who apparently ate the neighbor's cat or something. Then we have Boastful Loki, who I guess is a big liar, so we don't really believe what he says, but he says he took all the Infinity Stones and, ruled all over the 9 realms or something happened like that, but no. And then we have, whom in my opinion is my favorite part of this episode, Classic Loki. Classic Loki essentially just got tired of all the betrayal and all the lies and whatnot and figured he needed to start fresh. So he hid in his timeline, when Thanos was coming to kill everybody, he essentially hid himself before he had the chance to escape. And in escaping, he wound up just transporting himself to this off-distant world and lived in solitude for a long time and a long time, until eventually one day he says his Nexus level event was that he missed everybody. He wanted to see if anybody missed him. He missed Thor, and he wanted to go back and see his brother. So the moment that he left the place that he was and transported himself back to his home, he was immediately captured by the TVA and pruned. I really liked this about the episode because the whole episode really was centering on how Loki's really can change, and I really liked that with wisdom, it seemed that Classic Loki, and Lokis in general, with age and with wisdom, could truly actually change because they weren't destined to just be betrayers and evil. They feel like they're destined to be outcast, which is said in this episode. But the truth is, they're destined to be so much more, and they can be so much more if they truly want to be. So back in the TVA, Sylvie has captured Ravonna Renslayer and is essentially trying to get her to tell her the truth about where the people who created the TVA actually are, because it turns out they've been following mindless androids, and we are met with this weird back and forth where you can't tell if Ravonna is lying or if she's telling the truth, but she's using Miss Minutes to go through the TVA files to somehow help Sylvie find out where the void is and the end of time and all this other stuff. And it turns out she's just stalling so the TVA agents can show up, back her up, and try to kill Sylvie. And this crazy cool moment of just immediate clarity, Sylvie realizes, well, I'm surrounded, but the only way to truly know what's going on is to take myself out. So she prunes herself with Ravonna's pruning rod, and she gets teleported to the void. So we're back in the void where Sylvie wakes up from her pruning and essentially realizes she is in a very bad spot in the void. And she immediately breaks out of where she woke up, smashes the glass, climbs out a window, and she sees Goliath, the giant cloud monster, just coming straight at her. And she starts running. And there's this old school station wagon in the distance, just comes out of nowhere, pulls up, drifts and tail whips, and it's Mobius. Anyway, they journey together in the station wagon away from Goliath, and they just keep going and going. And so we're back over with the other Lokis, who essentially are in the hideout that they have in the void, and they're talking about how they're going to try to figure out a way to save themselves, get out of the situation. And regular Loki is like, look, we need to do something about this. Sylvie's out there, she needs me. Anyway, when Loki decides that he's going to go ahead and make a powerful speech to try to get the other Lokis on his side, they all end up laughing at him, and he just, decides to climb out of the hideout. And as soon as he opens the hatch, we're greeted by about 12 other Lokis, all led by President Loki. Wow. Who then down in the hatch decide that they're all going to try to band together, until it turns out the boastful Loki betrayed the other Lokis and gave their location away because he believed that they would strike a deal with the other Loki, President Loki, that he in fact could, give the location, they get to kill all the other Lokis, and then he gets to rule over the army. So boastful Loki's an idiot, because why would President Loki, the one with the actual army, sit there and go, yeah, you give us your location, I'll give you my army and the throne, sure. So President Loki decides to insult all of them, and Alligator Loki jumps on to President Loki, bites his freaking hand off in a hilarious moment where President Loki just screams like a little bitch. And a whole fight breaks out where all the Lokis just start trying to kill each other. Classic Loki decides to make a portal to save Alligator Loki, Kid Loki, regular Loki, and himself. They teleport out onto a cliffside where they just start and try to make a plan on how they're going to take down Goliath. Well, at least variant Loki is. Sylvie and Mobius come back to help and save them and meet up with them and figure out a plan. They have a nice back and forth where now Mobius is explaining to the other Lokis what's going on and what he's going to do and how he believes he's going to go ahead and destroy the TVA. And I like this moment because old classic Loki looks at him and says, you're going to turn your back and betray the very thing you swore your whole life to? And then Mobius says, well, it's never too late to change. And classic Loki just agrees with them in this silent understanding of agreement. Outside, Sylvie and Loki are sitting and having this back and forth conversation where it's getting a bit more personal, and they're trying to understand each other and what they're going to do when all this is over, and make sure that they're not going to betray each other in the end. And Loki says, I know who I am, I know who I've been, I know what I did, and that's not me anymore. I've changed. And Sylvie herself wants to believe it and is starting to, and they're having this really sweet moment, and Sylvie just goes, I don't know how to do this thing that we're doing. I don't know friendship. I don't have anybody else. I'm alone. And it's this really sweet moment where it's just two people who truly understand each other, trying to figure it out together, as Loki says. And it's just really, really sweet writing, and it doesn't feel forced. It feels so organic because they have this amazing chemistry together on camera. And I just really enjoy Tom Hiddleston and Sophie DiMartino's performances here. It's truly amazing. So then they decide that the plan is going to be that Sylvie is going to enchant Alioth and try to enchant him, take over him, and then they're going to basically control him, so he will reveal the location of where the actual person responsible for the TVA is, because they truly believe he's the one guarding. If they can control him, he'll open up and basically teleport them to the actual villain. Kid Loki and Classic Loki decide to part ways with them and let them go ahead and figure out their plan from there, where Sylvie and Loki decide, okay, now we're going to go ahead and face Alioth head on. And Kid Loki decides to conjure this really beautiful, cool sword and gives it to Loki to defend himself. And they leave Classic Loki and Kid Loki. And we have this incredible, amazing spectacle of visual artwork here, where we are just greeted with some of Disney's finest work on any of the actual series they've done so far in the MCU on the Disney Plus platform. Amazing visual effects, incredible lighting, cinematography, this amazing just whirlwind of Alioth and the clouds, the smoke, the ambience, the danger, the sense of just doom that they created with this Alioth presence. And Loki just deciding to create a distraction and try to, get Alioth's attention, while Sylvie tries to enchant him by having to make physical contact with the smoke that he creates. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, in the most heartbreaking yet amazing, heroic, part of the whole episode, Classic Loki comes out of nowhere just when Loki and Sylvie are about to lose and conjures all of Asgard, a full illusion of Asgard out of nowhere, pure raw power, how powerful he truly is. And it just showed how powerful the Lokis truly are, that they don't even actually know how strong they are. And he conjures all of Asgard, and Alioth is so distracted by it, he's not paying attention, trying to destroy this illusion of Asgard, because he goes for the biggest thing. As was explained in the beginning of the episode, he attacks the biggest meal first. So this is a great distraction. Classic Loki winds up sacrificing himself, with his final line being glorious purpose, as he gives out this maniacal, crazy laugh of sheer content that he is ready, he has accepted his end, and he wants to go out doing something good, and it just brings this joy to him. He gives out this amazing laugh and is completely disintegrated and just absorbed by Alioth. And right as Alioth is about to do the same to Loki and Sylvie, Loki learns how to do enchantment through connection with Sylvie in the last moment, and they enchant Alioth, and they essentially control him. The portal opens up to where they're really going, and as soon as they walk through it, credits end. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This was an incredible episode, amazing writing, great character development. We got Mobius back, truly a heroic moment, and in one episode we met Classic Loki, and then we fell in love with him in the next, only to lose him. It just goes to show how amazing Marvel and Disney truly are writing these characters and these shows, because they're really so good at getting you hooked like that. And I am so excited for the series finale, or season finale, next week. Truly amazing character work by Tom Hiddleston and Sophie DiMartino. Owen Wilson, as always, this amazing goodbye they gave where they hugged each other, and it was just this raw moment of you truly believed that they were friends. Awesome episode. I am in full high marks for this show, and this grabbed my attention in a different way than the other two shows preceding it had. WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier. Still amazing, incredible shows. There's something about this one that just had something different and new and fresh. And I think it was because we were taking a villain and we were turning him into a hero, but it wasn't being forced. It was organic, because it's written organically, it feels organic, and the energy of the show is really organic. Guys, I'll see you next time. I will be reviewing Black Widow. I'm going to see it tonight. We'll be reviewing that tomorrow. Probably have a video out on Saturday. Take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.